Like, who's on your team? You on your team. Like, bro, you supposed to be your number one cheerleader.
Fan.
Like, you got to be there for yourself. Like, when you realize it, like, what I realized, my mind was like, I'm just going to share it with everybody. My mind was dark at one point, you know? And you realize that you have an inner child in you that just needs to be rocked, needs to be cradled, needs to be told, like, listen, what happened to you is fine.
Yeah.
You know, and how you accept that should be gracefully, but for everybody's different. It's usually gonna be a rough process for you to do that.
Yes.
Right? But your inner child needs love, bro.
Here in the cut, we challenge our guests to finish a tub of ice cream before the end of the conversation. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to the Cool Table. We challenge our guests to finish a tub of ice cream before the end of the conversation. My name is Adriel Smiley, aka AdrielSmiley.com, aka Adriel Smiley Official, aka The Godfather, and we are here with a special guest joining us for the first time, breaking his fast with us. So we don't take that for granted. Mr. Turner, aka G Milla.
G Milla. What up?
Tell me about this flavor you chose. Cookies and cream, I feel like, is one of the easiest flavors as your go-to to have.
Yeah, that's my go-to ice cream. This is like, but I'm vegan too, right? So this is like a vegan cookies and cream because, you know, Oreos is the best vegan snack you can have. You know,
oh my!
Really
We're gonna start with the Oreos. I had an ex that went vegan while we were dating, and like we started out eating wings together. Then that changed, but Oreos were like her kryptonite, and she wasn't ready to cook and all that right away.
Oh yeah.
So I was just buying Pringles and Oreos by the pound.
No. See, I cook a lot.
Yeah.
So like, but if I'm snacking, seaweed is my kryptonite, bro.
Seaweed, eh?
Seaweed, man. That's it for me.
I had a seaweed phase though.
Phase? Sure.
Yeah. No, like when I was younger, like I went to school with a lot of Koreans and it was like seaweed central.
Kimchi, seaweed, shout out to Koreans, bro.
100%. I'm going to go back as far as is necessary.
Yeah.
You said that you used to be fat before you found basketball.
Oh, yeah.
How fat were you?
I never weighed myself because I was a little young, but it was before entering high school. I was like,
paint the picture. Is it like Lil Terrio? Like
yeah, no titties.
Okay.
But they was henching. They was over there.
You were getting there.
I was getting there. And
18 more months.
Yeah. And I remember I had the fat face, the fat cheeks. So that's how everybody could tell.
You were.
Yeah. So I remember that summer. Shout out Auntie Lydia. She was like, I was there at the house and we was eating good. You know, remember those times. So that's like.
And then you found ball and
then I found ball and I stretched too.
Yeah. Okay. You got taller. Yeah. Oh my God. So life changing.
Was checking. Yeah. For
That's it, shorty.
For sure.
No, you had the makeover just by happenstance.
Yes, sir.
That's screaming.
It was crazy.
What position did you play when you played ball?
It was weird. I had the game of like a power forward, but I was too short for that.
Yeah.
But like position, shooting guard.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you were a big bully shooting guard.
Yeah, basically.
I'm screaming.
Which is a great combination. You know?
No, that's a crazy combination. You never want to guard that guy.
No,
Are you stupid? Don't post me up from the 3-point line.
Like, I wasn't the greatest at ball. Let me not say this on camera. Like, I was okay.
No, but you did enough. Like
I did enough, yeah.
Yeah, you did enough. Yeah. One thing I feel like is missing from your artistry is that we're not getting enough drawing from you. Because I know you have a passion for drawing. When are we going to get that kind of, coming together with the raps? Because I feel like that is something that the people would love to see from you.
What you mean by drawing? Like drawing artistically?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so crazy. I was just doing that yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I might try that on another project, might draw some artwork.
Yeah.
This thing is, I got to get into the vibe, but when I'm drawing, my mind goes off. Like I'm not paying attention to nothing. I'm just writing.
In the zone.
So it's definitely something you should look forward to when I start.
Yeah. When I found out something that you did, I was like, that's interesting because I do feel like, especially the messages you have, there's something there with the music. So yeah, we're going for that at some point.
For sure, yeah. And then also like my imagination is crazy. Like I was one of them kids who was like had his own. Everybody had that time. Just playing with their toys by themselves. Listen, I was very imaginative, very imaginative. So imagine my drawings, yo. It's like
that's what I'm saying. So yeah, I see something there. And saying I'm putting it in the universe.
Yeah,
I see something there.
It's happening.
We're gonna do some checks, okay? Because there's some things from your past that we got to make sure it's still good. Are you still a big Blueface fan?
Blueface? Yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah, no. I still fuck with this shit beforehand, but like now, like he doesn't really drop nothing. So
he's off
like,
the deep end.
He's off the deep end. Yeah.
Do you still have those black and orange dunks?
Fuck! Holy shit! How you know about that?
It's my job to know, fam.
Do I still have them? Yeah, of course I still got them.
Okay.
Those are my high school shoes, bro.
Yeah, it's funny. We were talking about dunks for probably like a few minutes before you got here.
Yeah.
I was SB'd out. Like that was like
Okay,
I don't want to hear about Jordans at that time. Like in high school, I was SB dunks.
Yeah, because if you had Jordans at that time, it was like average.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
No, it kind of was because everyone had, and this is. People don't know this era, but there's an era where like a certain Foot Locker would have the same Jordans, and everyone would have like the Laser 4s. Right. Now the Laser 4s are all holy grail. It's like, nah, you saying.
Yeah, I mean the 4s, don't get it twisted. Throw it the 4s, but the dunks, you could just wear it with anything. Chris, the khakis hit them. Yeah, that's what's up.
So you still have them, but you sound like you haven't worn them in a while.
No, I don't wear them anymore. Nah, man, I can't do
those
shoes.
Are done for. Those are done for.
Definitely.
Still a fan of the Doors?
100%.
Okay.
Still a fan. Jim Morrison, the Doors. I don't even know how I came about that. Like, it was weird because my music taste has always been off the edge. So, like, my friends knew me as, like, a guy who was just listening to
whatever
different shit, and I introduced them to a lot of music, especially, like, Lil B when he came out, too. That was a thing.
Yeah, that was a time.
Is this? I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm into. Ricky Hill.
Yeah.
Who else did I come at that time? The Doors. Crystal Castles.
Oh yeah.
Who else did I come about?
Wow.
Yeah, yo, my music taste is like basically like my drawing.
All over the place.
All over. Yeah.
So do you see like a future for some kind of mix with that? Like, I'm not saying full Linkin Park, Jay-Z, drop your shoulder, but I do think there's something there because you have all these different interests in terms of music.
Yeah.
How about that coming into your music? Have you like thought about that at all? Or?
Oh yeah.
I feel like there's something there for sure.
Yeah. No, I actually was working on some stuff with my boy Yobi. We was just chopping some stuff up. Check out Yobi, he's dope. We was just making some music the other day, and like it was just random drums and guitars, and we was just making music, and it's there for sure.
Okay.
Like it's there.
Yeah, because I see something there. It's not often you see like a real hip hop fan who's also a real fan outside of hip hop. Because you got your boy Jay behind you, but I know you're a big Nas fan.
Yep.
Yeah, that's your guy. What is your kind of thoughts on this last run of Nas? Because I'm gonna give you my perspective. I saw Nas in concert.
Oh, you did? I didn't see Nas.
Right before the pandemic. It was Nas and Mary J.
Wow.
And this is right when the Lost Tapes 2 came out. So he didn't do none of that. He just, literally all he did was, I put an album recently, y'all go check it out. Back to the hits, basically was what it was, right?
That's what I want. That's what I would want.
And then since then, he's dropped, 5, 6 albums that he probably has like 15 songs to perform from. So what do you think about this new kind of part of his career? Because this is almost like a third career in a sense.
Yeah, honestly, it's for guys like us. Like we can take in Nas on that level because we know where he's coming from.
Yeah,
we understand him, but this new generation, it's not gonna ring for him. They're gonna be like, yeah, okay, cool, the King's disease.
But all right,
sure. But me and you, Illmatic, Stillmatic. What else?
We're there. It is written.
It was written. Oh, I love It Was Written.
Yeah.
It's like those are the things we gravitate to. To me personally, that's what I gravitate to. So, I mean, this new stuff, I love to see my homie still making music, and I'm definitely gonna listen to it, of course,
obviously,
because I appreciate him. But it's for us, so that's it.
Do you? I kind of put them in two different categories. Like, I don't really always have the older, like, made you look Nas and the same as rare Nas, you know? Do you put those two together at all? Because to me, it's almost like it's still Nas, but it's like a different version, you know?
Yeah, no. It's a different kind of Nas. Like, one is the poet, deep, introspective Nas, which that's who I'm into.
Yeah, the real Nas.
Yeah, the real Nas. And then there is gotta represent the streets Nas. You know what I mean? Gotta represent the rap game Nas.
Yeah.
Because his lyrics are so deep, he gotta
dumb it down a little bit.
Yeah, he got dumb it down and he gotta speak on that forefront. So
yeah, this is like Nas in the DMs now. So I say like, like if you hear Nas when he just came out, you would never think that Nas would be in like. That's the truth. Like Nas in some Instagram shorties DMs, you know, and it's kind of like he's just like us in a way. Like
yeah, he is.
Oh, math, crazy.
Ice cream is knocking.
You had this quote on the project where you said, "Niggas took my style, had to beat my kids." You don't got name names, but talk about that because I love that bar.
Yeah, so I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna keep it real because when I was coming up, G Milla, a lot of dudes was like kind of emulating me. You know, I recognized it. I let it slide. I didn't give a fuck because I knew I'm the original, right? So, you know, I watched everything play out, and I watched how they all did it. And obviously they jumped hurdles, you know, they did what they supposed to do. It's good for them. But then it was like something was missing. And I took the step back to watch that and be like, oh yeah, now it's my turn. Right? Now the real is gonna come out and speak. And be like, this is the real guy who came with that dark downtown scene shit that started out with that shit. So that's definitely what I meant when I said I gotta beat my kids. You know what I mean? Because I gotta teach these niggas like, yeah, you can taste the drip, you can even put it on. But once it's in you, it's just that's it.
You have it or you don't.
You have it or you don't. And that's what that meant when I said I gotta beat them kids. So.
No, I like that one a lot because I do feel like there is that from your perspective at least, seeing the people bite, you're kind of like, yeah, I can't get at everybody. I can't, you know? And so that's why I'm happy you put it in the music because I do think there's a part of that where there's a fan who doesn't know this person's biting you. You know, they know. Yeah. And this fan is there even like, oh my God, G Milla sounds so much like so-and-so. And you're like, boy, you got it the wrong way.
Boy, you got to twist it around,
you know? And so I think that's like a level of maturity to put that in the music and not make it like something you just chat about. Because especially as a person people are biting from.
And this is the first time I've ever spoken about it. Just to catch you. Like, it's the first time I ever even said anything. Cause I didn't care. I don't care. Like, God's gonna always set shit straight. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I didn't care. I was just like, okay, you know, you can copy my hairstyle, you can take my teeth, you can take my walk, my style. I don't give a fuck, man. Do you? I do me.
Yeah. I like how you were nice about it. Even you addressing it, you did it nice. I appreciate that. For sure. Smoke. That's one of my favorite songs. One of my favorite songs. I like this beat a lot. I like the part you said, I found the edge off the edge, or the edge off edge. But you had this part in there that I thought was so interesting, and the more I did my research, I was like, maybe this makes sense. And now that you're here, you can clear this up for me. You say this part about Red Bull in the Smoke song, and Red Bull keeping you up, and you said how smoking kind of like puts you to sleep sometimes. Is that kind of part of why on Red Bull is together? Because I'm like, in a song about smoking, there's all these Red Bull references, and I thought that was interesting.
I'm going. Shatter your dreams right now.
I thought I had the case closed.
Well, this was really the whole entire song was an experience I had.
Okay.
I'm gonna get into it. So, it was one of my trips to Los Angeles. We had like an Airbnb in Joshua Desert.
Okay.
We landed in LA at like 12 a.m. I think it was like 12 and 1 a.m. And it was my boy Jake. Shout out Jake. He was driving, and we basically, like, this is the first time we was driving out there. You know, we rented a car and all that. We driving. So if you know anything about Joshua Desert, you know it's 4 hours away from Los Angeles.
Not close.
Not close at all. And this is like 1:30 a.m. And when you get out there, It's dark as fuck. There's no street
Yeah,
signs. It's a desert.
Yeah. I was gonna say like y'all doing that right off the plane.
Right off the plane.
It
was the craziest moment. But that was the first part of that trip.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember when we was driving, you know, we had to keep each other awake the entire time. Cause we was like, listen, well, we got there like 4 a.m. So we had to keep each other awake the whole time. So I remember we bought like fucking 12 Red Bulls.
Oh my goodness.
And drank that shit back to back. I was like, listen, we getting there. So we was scooting there and it was a moment, man. And then when we got there, like, fuck. I remember I had never seen a cactus a day in my life.
True. This is real life.
So I was like, the fuck am I? It was amazing, bro. And so that entire song, and there was more to the experience in the song as well. But that part, that's what that meant. Red Bull keep me alive. You know, 4-hour drive. You know, so.
So how does that experience on that song compare to the actual song Joshua Desert? Like, is there any kind of correlation? Is that from the same time? Let's talk about those
two. For sure. They definitely do correlate. Really and truly, I just looked at a more of a outer perspective and an introspective perspective, if you caught me there. So Smoke is more of like the idea of living the life.
Yeah.
But Joshua Desert was more about just how I was feeling at the time in that situation.
Okay.
So I jumped on both of them.
Yeah. I'm like, I see that there because I know you're a big meditator.
I am.
And you always with your Hertz music.
Yes, sir.
Something I've been asking people because I keep saying I'm fairly new, but I guess it's been a few years at this point. I can't always say that, but I want to know people's meditation like ritual. Like, is there a certain app you use, video you use? Because why I say this is everyone meditates differently, and sometimes the person who taught you how to meditate is kind of like who you emulate, and then you got to find your own voice,
right?
You know, similar to music. So, what's been your like meditation routine, so to speak, and if you feel cool sharing that?
Yeah, for sure. So in the morning is the best time for me to meditate. I've been increasing it to about 3 times now.
Okay.
Which is a lot more powerful. My ritual in the morning is just, if I'm waking up, I'm praying and then I'm meditating. Meditate for typically 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes a half an hour. I do listen to like brain waves. I listen to Hertz. And sometimes I'll just sit there and breathe. And just put my hand on my heart and my hand on my stomach and just feel myself breathing and my heart beating, which is amazing, you know. So every morning that's my ritual. Either I'm bouncing between those ones depending on how I'm feeling. And I usually end my night with a meditation as well, which is big.
Yeah, I think ending the night too is a big part of it. It's kind of like you bookending your day. Yeah. And you said you try to do 3. So where do you find time for that third one? Is that like that's when you get back at the crib or just?
Yeah, it's whatever I could be doing in the middle of the day. If I'm working or if I'm at home or if I'm just anywhere, like I'm gonna just make 15 minutes just to like sit down and just think about what the fuck going on in my mind.
No, it's important. Like I do someone who they would meditate in the car, and I was like,
not driving though.
Not driving, but this is a different level because I remember we went somewhere and I had to drop something off somewhere, and she said, "Okay, I won't come with you. I'll meditate I'll be here when you get back."
Oh, awesome!
And
I
said, "Yeah," and I said like that kind of like level of like self-awareness and even intentionality. I was like, okay, this is like
you still fucking with her, right? She cool,
no, absolutely not. She's a demon.
Oh shit!
No, she's an absolute animal. But seeing that, I was taking notes of like, okay, like this is like something I wouldn't even think to do, you know? So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's pretty dope, man.
I think I try and get a lot of my friends to like start meditating, even though it's hard at first.
But because your mind is your worst enemy and your best friend, depending on how you see it, depending on how you control it, depending on how you talk to it. Really and truly, like my mind, I've learned to talk to my mind in a way where I question the things I'm thinking. Like, why the hell would I be doubting myself? Why the hell would I be talking bad about myself? You know, it's like really and truly, when you meditate, you realize like there's a voice that's either supporting you or tearing you down. So you got to choose which one you're going to listen to.
And you're spitting facts here because I think the part about choosing is the part that I think people are kind of misunderstanding. I think a lot of people it's like their mind is out of control, you know?
Yep.
Their self-belief is that they can't control their emotions or they can't control their thoughts.
What you can't. But what you choose to listen to more of will become more predominant in your head.
It's like a training.
It's a training, yeah.
You know, like we don't. It's a light training of training your brain to have good habits. In a sense.
Exactly.
There's someone I was talking to a little while ago, and they were telling me about something they wanted to do. They wanted to like get more creative, get that side of life more popping, and they kept saying like, "Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to do this or this won't work." And I said, "Where'd you get that from?" And they didn't know. And I said, "So no one's ever told you that, but you can tell yourself that as if that's the truth."
It's like you got who's on your team? You on your team, like bro, you supposed to be your number one cheerleader.
Fan.
Like you got to be there for yourself. Like when you realize it, like what I realized, my mind was like, I'm just gonna share it with everybody. My mind was dark at one point, you know, and you realize that you have an inner child in you that just needs to be rocked, needs to be cradled, needs to be told like, listen, what happened to you is fine.
Yeah.
You know, and how you accept that should be gracefully, but for everybody's different. It's usually gonna be a rough process for you to do that.
Yes.
Right? But your inner child needs love, bro. You know, that goes for men and women. Your inner child needs love.
And I think this is kind of how society has put us against ourselves in a way.
Yeah.
Where there's this whole notion of you're too old for that. You know, it's like
you are a grown child.
Ignore that. It's like, nah, you still a kid.
You still a kid.
You still a kid.
Like
you know?
if you have abandonment issues, you got anxiety issues, like all those things stem from, if you sit down and register, you realize like, wow, when I was 6 or 7 or 8, my mom used to, wow, maybe that's where that stem and this, and then you break it down, you realize like, whoa.
Yo, I had that exact conversation last week because my dad's a pastor. So growing up,
amen.
Yeah,
God bless. God bless.
Shalom,
the anointing is here. Let's go.
And growing up, like listening to music, period, that was secular was a problem. You know, like that was just what it is. And thinking about how music is my life now and my job and my work in so many different areas, it's kind of like you got to put those two together of like that. It's not an accident that that's the case.
Nope,
you know?
Nothing's an accident.
So I think that's a big part of people don't want to do the self-reflection, but I've been encouraged everyone every single time because I think it helps. And I think that once you learn you can tell yourself good things, it's mind-boggling. You know?
And affirmations. Listen, I never was the one to be like, yo, affirmate, like, what, you gonna tell you? But there's this thing they call mirror work.
Talk about it.
You look yourself in the mirror and you talk to yourself. But when you look yourself in the mirror, it's different than saying it out loud. Because when you say it out loud, it's like you could be saying it to anybody.
Yeah.
But when you look yourself in the mirror, you're saying it to your subconscious mind. So really and truly, the more you say this, at first you're not gonna believe yourself.
Yep.
Obviously, you're not gonna tell yourself like, yo, I'm king of the world. Like, okay, sure, buddy.
We'll see.
But right. But when you start telling yourself, like, I love myself, you know, I trust myself, like things like that, you will start to love and trust yourself.
And it feels good.
It feels great.
Yeah. I didn't realize that people didn't realize in themselves that they lacked confidence. You know? And it's like, sometimes you might be blind to yourself. Like, think about a guy who he sees a certain woman and says, nah, not for me. Like,
oh no, see, yo, I know a story about that, bro. I got hyped.
Let's hear it.
Listen, man, just the other day, I think I did that to myself. Yo, I saw a shorty, I was like, man, she bad as fuck. And my mind was like, nah, she's not going. And then the other part of my mind was like, boy, if you don't get your ass over there and say what up. And it was like, boom, you know, and it's like, that's how it goes, you know, and it worked out for me. But that's how it goes. You gotta question that thought. Like, where's this coming from? Who told me this?
That's the power.
Yeah.
Like, because everyone gets a thought. I think I'm happy you said that story. Everyone gets a thought. And
exactly.
We all human. No one is immune to the thought.
Nobody's immune to negativity.
But when you get the thought, it's how do you deal with it? Does that thought become law? Does that thought become the truth? And I think that's the big part is like, honestly, all you become is how you view yourself.
Exactly.
You know, I had this huge moment a couple months ago where I was like, I want so much better for everyone in my life. I'm not kind of person like, someone's like, oh, I just got a job that pays $70K. I'm like, $70K? You're worth more than that. That's not enough for you. You're worth 100. Like, go back to that's how I am.
That's how I am too.
And I realized, like, I don't need to always be like that, because if they don't believe it, then they're right. Mm-hmm. If I tell you you can do this and you don't think you can, you're the one who's correct. So that's one thing, is like, you got to believe.
Exactly. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve.
Who needs Wednesday wisdom?
This is it right here. Like, I'm telling you, man. And I had to figure that out too.
It takes time.
I had to figure that out too, because when you trying to motivate people to do better, sometimes it feels like an attack.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
When you really and truly, but it's just that your mind has crossed the threshold of yourself and realized, like, wow, there's doubt in me and I could do so much better. And then you look at someone else like, you could do it too. And they go like, well, I'm good where I'm at. And you're like, okay, sure. Let me just keep moving on.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, we're going to move on from this. Yeah. No, but realizing it in yourself, that when you realize it in yourself, you're like, that's it. You just think for a second, you know?
You think. You got to think like, okay, maybe I'm pushing, this person's not ready yet.
I can kind of hear that in this album, and everyone else I think is going to notice it kind of right away after a first listen, of like that in yourself. Obviously, there's the messages, but I think like a song like Anthem, which Anthem feels like a hype song for yourself.
Yeah, it is.
And
it is. That's exactly what it is.
Perfect. And it's like, you can kind of feel that in your music as well. Like, those are a moment where you kind of felt the transition when what you were going through personally crept into the music, or was it like, did you notice it as it was happening?
That song in particular was just basically like, I had to remind myself who the fuck I was, and it was like just an anthem just to boost me up to start this album, which is crazy. That's why I call it Anthem, because it's like, I had to remind myself, like, G on the logo, chocolate skin, Coco, singing like Casey and JoJo, you know what I mean? Like,
okay.
I had to, I was like, listen, this is who you are, So that's how that came about.
But what about just in general, like, the growth you had as a person? Did you feel it in a different way in your music? Like, because I think there is something to that of kind of getting a higher level of peace and being on a higher vibration on a more consistent basis. That everything feels different. So did you feel that different in the way you were working?
For sure. When I elevated, certain concepts and ideas didn't gravitate with me anymore. Talking about drugs and stuff, like, it changed. I started to look into a more wide spectrum of being like, what are my people going through? Like, what are the people I know going through? And it was definitely that moment where I realized, like, wow, what I'm saying can influence people in a lot of different ways. So really and truly, when I got to a higher vibration, my music became the focal point of my speech and what I was saying. So I realized, like, well, I can't say to myself and to others that, I want to shoot you, I want to kill you. I gotta.
Words got power.
Well, words power, and words power to myself too. So what you do to someone else, you do to yourself. So, I realized, like, okay, well, just talk about what's happening right now in front of you, or how you feel inside. So it definitely did shift when I started vibrating higher.
This is the song that I think of the most with this project.
Okay.
It's not my favorite song, but this is like maybe the song I would show people, and it's Panther, which I thought was a great idea for that to be a single. There's that break in the middle at the end of the verse, which I thought is like, it's almost like a lead up to you, but to go back in. You're like, okay, he's about to go back in again.
Yeah.
And then that skit at the end.
Yeah.
I want you to talk about that whole thing, but this is my favorite part of it. At the end of it, it says, if you attack one black man, you're attacking all black men. And it's kind of like an idealistic world that we're hoping to achieve. Talk about why you put that in there at the end.
Well, the song in itself, Panther, is about, it's like my ancestors being angry at this moment. And when I pushed to speak, I removed the filters and I said, listen, I'm just going to say whatever I want to say. And I understand that we as, black people lack that community to come together and to learn that all we have is really together to build things that we desire to change in our community. So that part at the end there. I've always loved Malcolm X because his approach was always like, listen, we gotta do bang bang, you know, we gotta do it like this. You know, we like no shots to Martin Luther King, of course. But Malcolm X was always like
about that action.
You know what I'm saying? So when I put that at the end there, I wanted people to feel the connection to the music as a black person or as African or whoever you choose to define yourself as. I wanted you to feel that connection of us saying, listen, this song's about us.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, I need you to connect with this. Get down with this.
I think it's hard not to. I feel like what you put on the song to start it out, and then at the end, it's almost like, listen, if y'all somehow didn't get that, I'm going to spell it out for you. And I think that's important because I had a talk last week with a bunch of other journalists. We were at the Bob Marley premiere.
Okay, I didn't see that.
The press screening. And we had this long talk about blackness and how we kind of need to work as a collective instead of working as singular people.
Yes, we do.
And there's a part in it where you're like, you know, black people will feel so connected to each other that this will be the outcome. And I want to know, what do you feel like from your experiences you feel like that disconnect is? Because I see in times whether it's at, you know, at a label or in a building or anywhere where to me, if it's I see someone else black, I'm like, you know, what up? You know?
Like it happens, and I do it all the time, and I make sure to do it in my mind that when I see someone who's black, I make them know it's not me grilling you. Yeah. It's not me sizing you up. It's me looking and saying, "What's up, man?" Like it's just, and then yo, other people, other cultures look at that and they go, "Y'all know each other?" No, we don't know each other. We know each other though.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah. So the way this has to happen is we got to have love for each other.
Always.
You know, we got to, that's got to be the main focal point behind the things that we do, and to support one another. Obviously, if you're doing some fuck shit, we shouldn't support that, right? It's just because it's not the betterment of our people.
Yes.
But I think what needs to happen is the collaboration between just black communities and the collaboration between us. And I'm not talking no alternative motives, nothing. Just like pure intentions to see us elevate.
It should be easy.
It should be. It should be. It should be.
I think about this all the time. My example is always Tyler Perry. I know everyone has their problems with Tyler Perry.
Love Tyler Perry.
But Tyler Perry never once catered to white people.
No.
You know, since he been in the game, he said, I'm rocking with y'all.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And no, but the success he's had of how, you know, rich, successful he's gotten doing that. And I think there is almost this notion as black people that we have to somehow, at some point, cater to white people. You know, like
when we get mainstream.
At some point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that you can just be a black person who white people like and still be yourself. Or you can be a black person who cares for black people and be successful like Tyler Perry is.
Yeah.
And so I think that is where the biggest divide comes when I look at it is there are some of us who is like, yo, I'm rocking with y'all, like I'm catering to us. And some of them are like, I don't want to be too aligned with y'all because I want the whites to like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're gonna pay for that.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something, man. Guys like Dick Gregory and Paul Mooney, I love those guys. They always realized that their home, their foundation was their people.
Yep.
And even if they wasn't selling in the mainstream, they just went back home. And when they went back home, it was always like we was talking to each other and we enjoyed each other and we was selling out shows. They're like, how you selling out shows? Because my people support me, right? And that's really what it's about. You know, at the end of the day, it's about us really supporting each other like this, you know, to where it's like we have our own market.
And
you know what I'm saying?
And I think, too, if you look at history, some of the most successful, at least things in entertainment, media-wise, have been black people. You know, whether it's a full black cast like the Cosbys or Fresh Prince, or, you know, someone like Michael Jackson or Prince or Teddy Pendergrass before them. And so it's like, again, I don't think we have to move with that mentality of we gotta whiteify it to get popping.
No.
And I think if, as black people, if we all move with that energy, it's like, listen, let's, you know, multiply our blackness together.
Yeah. Because we know what's cool. We like what's cool. We like what we like. We do what we do.
Yeah.
And then we adjust it when we get there. And it's like, us over here, we're like, oh, look what he doing. Why he doing that? Just be like this, because we know each other. So it's like, if we just start channeling to us only, then we're going to start seeing this thing where people are going to start looking over like, oh, what they doing over there? Wow, oh man. That's what was happening with hip hop, right? It was like
100%.
They pants sagging. Why they pants sagging? Oh, they got chains. Why they chains? And it was like, at first it was like, ugh. And then it was like, the kids was like, wow.
It literally. I gotta do that.
So yeah, exactly. So the kids like, okay, well, now they have to turn forced to look at us.
Yep.
And that's what Dick Gregory and Paul Mooney talked about. It was like, they didn't even notice us at that time. And it was as simple as just noticing us. Just seeing us is what changed things. It was like, you know, he was like, oh yeah, we laughing. You got that guy up there laughing with the mask on, and he got the black lips, you know, the black face and the lip sync, and he dancing, he's smiling, and he's there dancing, and I got you. I got you.
Literally.
Because at first he was like, now you laughing at me, but I got your attention.
Yep.
And that's where it started from. That's what they started talking about, that it's about as simple as just being like, well, what are they doing? And we can get more of that if we learn how to connect and just channel to our people.
I think there's a lot of, I know those two guys especially were like people who influenced this project. And listening to the project, that was one of my things I was thinking about. I'm like, will everyone get it? You know, I think you have some bangers on here. And that's one thing. I'm like, some people just, they don't hear, when it's a banger, they don't hear the message at all, you know?
Nope.
And Smoke is one of my favorites for that reason, where it's like, Smoke is like a very good in between of like, okay, it's kind of the melodic way you're rapping is almost easier to understand in a sense. But that's one thing I've always thought about is like, the message he has on here is like, some people are just gonna be like drinking and smoking to the bangers.
And I'm okay with that. That's why I made those other songs, so you could do that, right? But that's the thing, you know, for those who are listening, you know, and get my message, they'll listen to it and be like, yo. And those who know me too, and be like, yo, you snapped on that.
Yeah.
And even the hip hop legends and people who really appreciate the lyricism, that's what I did there, was to speak something deeper. Because as an artist, it's very easy to sound like everybody else.
Yes.
And it's very easy to push the same narrative. But it's the way it has to be done at the same time to get into the game.
Yeah.
But what I understood was like, okay, if I could put my ideals and my morals and ideas underneath that of pushing it forth, it's like a Trojan horse. You know, I was like, okay, that's what I was going to do. So,
and I think hip hop does the best job of that actually of any genre, because we said this earlier. You want to say it again? Words are power. Words have power. And so I always think, you know, when I think of my friends, I'm like, it's killing, eh? I'm like, who do you listen to? You know, like, yeah, there can be a certain sound, but what is a rapper's message? You know, I always think of someone who's a J. Cole fan. I'm like, if you're a J. Cole fan, inherently, you're going to maybe be more positive as a person. Because whether you're like that or not, you're just hearing him repeat positive things. Right. You know, over and over again. And so I think that about your music is like, some may not get the message, but they might, you know, run back Panther 6 times because it bangs. Right. And it's like, then they start repeating the words. Yeah. And they start speaking it. So I think
start living it. Yeah.
And I think that's huge. I want to take it a little bit left here, and I'm interested to see where you go with this, because you are vegan. Yeah. So when vegans answer this question, I always have an eyebrow raised. When people get $100 million, they usually buy an exotic animal. Now, I don't make the rules, but that's just what happens.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me correct you real quick before you finish this. I'm not like, I'm Ital. Okay.
Ital.
So Rastaman Ital thing.
There you
go.
Like
that vegan thing came from whatever mainstream shit.
I'm happy you cleared it up.
And like, I'm not saying I don't support animals being safe and all that. But however,
we're from we know.
You know, we're from yard, and we know like certain goat have a cut tonight. You know how it goes. So you know.
You actually got to see the Bob Marley movie then, because
I do.
That's like they didn't put that in the trailer, but a lot of that's in there.
Yeah.
Like when I was like, it's a lot of that. Like if you're not Jamaican, you can still be black, and that's not. It just goes. It's a lot of Rastafarianism.
For sure. Like Rastafarianism, my grandpa's a Rasta, so.
Yeah, my uncle's a Rasta too. But in the movie, they actually, like, they keep it G.
Really?
Like, yeah. Like,
I love that.
Yeah, so it's like for us, it's like we're watching it like, okay, like
were they a part of it? The Marleys were a part of it?
yeah. His wife brought him into it.
Love it.
Yeah, and probably the most said word is Ja Rastafari.
Ja!
So yeah, when I watched it, I was like, this is definitely for Jamaicans. Like, if you're not, like, you may not get it.
Yeah, if you didn't grow up with your mom yelling at you, you don't know what's going on.
If you didn't catch the bottom of a slipper,
you don't know what's going on, bro.
when people get $100 million, they usually get an exotic animal.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jackson with his monkey, Justin Bieber with his monkey, Mike Tyson with his tiger. So when you get to that $100 million level, what's the animal you're going to bring into your life?
What kind of animal G Milla gonna like? Shit. This a tough one.
Listen, you got $100 million, so you don't got
$100 million. I can get any animal I want.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see where you take this because the possibilities are endless.
A panther.
Ooh, that's cold.
A panther.
Just one.
Just one Black Panther.
Okay. Yeah, that was cold on the property for sure. That was cold on the property for sure.
I love cats too, so yeah.
Nah, cats are calm.
Cats are fucking lit, man.
Cats are calm, yeah. And
dogs, I love dogs too. Love cats and dogs.
No, I love dogs, but like
I love dogs. Yeah. But I love
I'm
cats.
more a dog person than a cat person, but cats are so chill. Like
I like cats because they like a dog will accept you, you know, like a cat will not accept you.
Yeah, a cat's not people pleaser.
No.
Dogs are people pleasers.
Dogs is like excited and shit. I'm like, yeah, great. Go meet that guy that just came in the door you met an hour ago and lay on him. But a cat will not lay on you. A cat be like, who's this nigga? I do not know you.
And have you seen those dogs that run the thing with the cats that like kind of bully the dogs? Have you seen those?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are the best. Like
cats is more like my personality.
It's a big dog and the cat is bullying it.
Yeah.
I saw a video where the dog tries to go down the stairs and the cat's at the bottom of the stairs. And every time they try and step through, the cat just goes like this. The dog is probably 4 times the size of the cat.
Could kill him, but that's us. You know, we could kill him, but wow.
Yeah. So no, I rock with cats for that reason.
Yeah.
I like that you have Panther. Kind of, you know, you got a little fit there.
Yeah. I love Black Panther.
On Punisher. You calling yourself the Punisher and like the deliverer of justice.
Yes.
I like that one a lot. That might have to be your next AKA. When the next project comes out and you come back, I got to add this to your AKA as the Punisher.
Yeah.
Talk about that song because I like that one a lot too.
Yeah, that was like that song where my ancestors channeled me to just to speak that injustice that's been done. And I feel like the only one who's really making things right is God, you know, because people things happen in life that are unfair, you know, fucked up, and I mean that is still happening today, and things are obviously still happening like that. But at the same time, that song was like, okay, listen, they hands is dirty, there's blood there, it's hanging on the tree, Emmett Till,
we see
all
it.
this.
We see it.
You got it. When you get on there, just tell them, hey, you know, like, oh yeah, you did that, you did that. It's not to blame anybody, but it's to understand that in our genes, there is still that pain, there is still that suffering that has to go. You know, it has to be let go. So when I did Punisher, I was like, listen, whatever you got to say, whatever you've been studying, whatever's been channeling to me, I'm just going to tell the raw, uncut truth. So I call myself the Punisher. You know, if you know the movie The Punisher,
yeah, I
love that movie because sometimes justice just is not fair, and you got to take matters into your own hands.
100%.
So that's literally what I was trying to do with that song. Just take matters into my own hands and be like, listen, y'all not talking about that. You forgot about this? Hey, y'all forgot about this? So that's mainly what I did with Punisher.
How I would describe it is it's like a trauma dump that comes with an ass whooping. Yeah, that's what the Punisher is.
Yeah.
It's a trauma dump that comes with an ass whooping. It's like, you gonna hear about all this,
and I'm gonna beat your ass, but after this, I'm good.
Yeah, you know. So yeah, I'm like that one sets the tone
a trauma
for
dump
sure.
With an ass whooping, I like that.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Now they say the top 5 people in your life help make you who you are. Now your top 5 can be 2 people, or it can be 10 people. But who are the people in your life who help you be yourself?
My mother, my father. 100%.
Respect.
My little sister, my entire family. All my sisters, of course, my brother, Shout out my brothers. And who else kind of grounds me down? Yeah, I mean, I got people that did do those things for me, but like, you know, I learned from them and they, you know, we moved on in life.
Yeah.
But mainly always gonna root back to my family, my mother, my father, my sisters, my brothers. Like family always realigns you back into the
Keeps you grounded.
It keeps you grounded, but it's like you could be changing your frequency when you leave your house and you go here and do that for years and then you come back and it's right back into that channel of energy that will remind you who you are.
You know what I felt like that was for me when I went to church as an adult? Once I moved out from my parents' house and I went to church as an adult, it was like the reset.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, I kind of get, when you're younger, you're like, do I got to be
here? Yeah, you know? I'm falling asleep. Yeah, that's boring.
And then it became the reset. And it's like, I felt refreshed going into the Monday of like, okay.
For sure.
And it's like your family can have that effect on you where it's like, okay, that's kind of, you know, so now I love to hear people's top five because you can kind of tell a lot about a person about who their five is or if they have a five.
Yep.
I think that's important too, is that
is important.
If someone isn't fit to be in your five and they're on a low vibration, you might just have to distance yourself. You
have to. You have to.
So yeah,
you have to because when you like I said, your family will realign you, and it's not to say like your family doesn't vibrate high or nothing like that, but when you vibrate high, you gotta also be grounded, right? Which is very important because you can go anywhere.
Yes,
anywhere, even places you don't want to be, and be around people you don't want to be around. You know, because not every high vibration is a good vibration.
That's correct.
Right? So when you got your family, you stay grounded in that morals, understanding, truth, and stuff like that while you're vibrating high, which is important.
Now you feel centered for sure.
You feel centered, yeah.
Yeah, this might be the record for the most high vibration references in a podcast. But I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Yes.
No, I'm
vibrate high, people.
I'm all the way here for it. Okay, so last but not least, before we get out of here, where are you at with this ice cream? I feel like you've been going ham.
Yeah, we ain't gonna finish at the end of this though, for sure.
Show the camera. Let's see how far we've gotten. Okay, a little soupy.
It's mad soupy.
Yeah.
I chocolate soup with an Oreo in it.
Oh my goodness. It's a real Oreo though.
See, I'm a sweeter man's, but this is really sweet.
That's the clip. I'm a sweeter man's, but this is really sweet. Nah, we appreciate Eva's being our sponsor for season 3 of the In the Cup podcast. Find them on Bloor Street. And they got vegan options as well. For anyone who doesn't know about Eva's, get it together, please. Get
it together, man. You need to know. I mean, vegan ice cream is good. It's not just because it's vegan. It's actually good ice cream.
Yeah, that's the thing. The vegan ice cream you assume is not going to be as good. Nah, it's just as good.
It's just ice cream, yeah.
Yeah, like I've had people though who are either lactose or just don't eat that kind of thing, and they're like, I just want to do it. I don't want to have the vegan kind because they're scared. Yeah. And I said, the way you put your tummy through all that, you didn't need to.
You didn't need to. You just get a vegan ice cream and you get the same joy.
Yeah. So all people who are into self-harm, I feel for you. Do what you got to do. I'm excited for everyone to hear this project because it's gonna be out a little bit before people hear this. So if there's one song you want people to listen to, what would that song be? If they're gonna say, okay, I don't got time for a full project, I just want to see what the vibe is like, what song are you sending them to?
That's hard to say because the vibe changes. I have more than one. Definitely African Cubism.
Yeah,
that's the one I'm gonna send you. Smoke, I'm gonna send you, and a good banger, and Chinatown. Those are the 3 I'm gonna send you.
Oh my God, we didn't talk about Lil B.
We didn't talk about
Lil my
B,
goodness,
man.
We got so distracted talking about high vibration.
Cook swag.
I was in where was I? I was in Victoria a couple of weeks ago. And Pretty Boy Swag came on in the club.
Pretty Boy Swag.
Hey.
G.
And I was cooking. And everyone was looking at me like I was nuts. And I'm this.
Oh shit, you know how to cook? Okay.
No, certified. Certified cooker.
Certified chef.
Certified chef. Talk about getting him on a track. That's a big time. Like,
Big,
I know there's
for me.
I think for certain people, that's like huge. Some people, it's like, who the hell is that? But
Right.
listen, Lil B followed me on Twitter at one time, so I remember those days.
Bay Area legend.
Yeah, talk about getting him on the track and how big that is, because I think that's huge.
Yeah, it was big for me because, like I said, most of my friends knew me. Like, they was like, listen.
Oh, you put them on to Lil B.
Of course. I like Thrax.
Oh my God.
What else? Pretty bitch. Like, all that. Like,
Wonton
Soup. But I was into him before all that. Like, it was.
Oh, you're early.
I was early. So people were like, what the fuck? What? Like, I'm God. That was the first track he had dropped.
Yeah.
He's not God, but the song was called I'm God. It was the beat by Claims Casino.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I loved it. That was the first. I watched the video and I was like, who is this? Because, so.
He's the GOAT, man.
He the GOAT. And he started the internet culture.
He originator.
He's the originator of it. So when I got him on the track, shout out Eva Shaw.
Shout out Eva.
Eva Shaw linked us up together. She was asking me, like, who you fuck with? And I was like, this guy. So, I couldn't believe it was happening because anyone who knows me knows that. Like, what the fuck this nigga, like, how'd he get, you got Lil B on there? Like, I was showing my boy the other day from, like, a long time ago. He goes, yo.
That's crazy.
I know, you manifested that shit. I was like.
That's crazy. Yeah, Lil B, like, I still say swag like Caillou.
Swag.
Like.
Oh shit!
Yeah, like
OG.
To this day,
swag like Caillou.
Yeah, like if someone's dripping, I'm like swag like Caillou.
Jeez.
Like that is so funny.
Yeah,
Damn.
man. So
like,
that was huge. Like, and then I got his number. You tell me link him up here and there. So he's cool, man. Honestly,
that's big time. Like
big time. Bro.
Yeah, like
big time.
If y'all don't know, like, please hop on Lil B. Like,
yeah, it's too late now, but you got to go back and go. Oh wow. You're not going to get it, though, because if you try to go back, you're going to be like,
that's
wow.
so true. You're going to see him and be like, what is this?
This is stupid.
Yeah.
But when it was starting, oh, my God. I remember World Star.
Yes.
Rapper calls himself a pretty bitch. That was a huge thing.
Yo, you're taking me back right now. Like, I'm very sure. Like,
World Star.
First of all, World Star, I used to be on World Star every day after school.
Of course.
Like, for hours, like I didn't have homework. Then Lil B on top of it, like, we used to go to like jams back when jams were a thing, and hope that they could get one Lil B song played so we could cook. Like
just one, just one.
School dancers give us something so we can just.
How about my coupe? Woo! Then I drop my roof. Woo! Little like wonton soup. Woo! You know what's up, man? That's lit.
Oh my! I can't believe we almost didn't get. Like, it's so distracted we got. I'm happy we at least got to talk about Lil B.
Chinatown. Let's go.
Oh,
go check that out, people.
Huge.
Chinatown, Lil B featuring G Milla.
I think you chose honestly the right three, so people got the right information, because those are the three that I would choose too.
For sure.
African Cubism, I think, is like speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And then those two is like
African Cubism is a big one.
Yeah, that was one of the ones where I was like, yo, if this is the kind of album that I think is gonna be like someone's entry into other shit. That's what I really feel like. I feel like someone might come to your music for something else. And hear something like African Cubism and be like, okay, the G Milla guy.
Yeah, he's dope. He can rap. Like, that's what that song was for. Like, hey,
100%.
I can rap. Like, all these other tracks is great, but I can rap.
I think the other ones you do show that you can rap, but I think sometimes the casual listener can't always tell.
Yeah,
I think the musician could tell of like, okay, I know it's a party song, but he's really, know. African Cubism is like, everyone's gonna be able to tell.
Yeah, they can tell. And that track, I love that. The first verse is probably my favorite verse I've written.
Wow.
Yeah. Because if like I could sit down here and explain each and every part of that verse, and maybe you heard it, maybe you understood it, maybe not, but how I read it and how I wrote it and how I understood it, I said, wow, I love this.
Yeah, that was a big one. That was a big one.
That was a huge one.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see what the response is when this project comes out.
Mr. Turner.
I'm very excited for
February 23rd. Let's go.
February 23rd, Mr. Turner.
Yep.
Please go stream that.
Yes.
Listen, I'm a fan of the album, so if my word means anything to you, please go stream that.
Thank you, brother.
Last but not least, you dropped a bunch of gems today. But we have this segment on the radio show called Wednesday Wisdom. Looking for a motivational quote or saying either you remind yourself of or the people around you. So what's that quote for you that is either always running through your head or you're always telling the people around you?
The quote that I'm always telling the people around me.
Or either telling yourself. All the gems you've been dropping, I would have thought you had one off the cuff.
Yeah, I do. I have a lot. That's why. So I'm like,
you can give us more than one.
It's like the library. First one is put God first.
Okay.
That's obviously going to be the one. The reason why that's very important is because, God is the foundation of everything. The second one is learn to love yourself. Learn to love yourself.
I like that.
Learn to love yourself. And 3 times the charm. The last one is let go what no longer serves you. Yeah, let go what no longer serves you. You can grow out of a lot of things in life, and you spend time trying to grip it, trying to grab onto it, but yeah, you got to let go what no longer serves you.
Yeah, that's a big 3.
That's a banger.
That's
a track.
A lie. That's a big 3. The last one, let go what no longer serves you. I think is probably, I don't say the hardest one, because I think self-love is hard for a lot of people as well. But I think letting go of what serves you is hard when you don't know you're even holding on to it.
It's part of love.
A huge part of love.
Huge part of love is to let go what no longer serves you, because you could really be okay with hurting yourself. You could be okay with telling it you could be okay with hurting yourself just because you don't want to let go. But when you love yourself, you realize like, whoa, this is not bettering me.
Wait, and when you see that, you can't unsee it. You know,
you can't unsee it.
You're
Once
like,
the eyes open,
you're like,
you cannot close it.
A quote one of my friends said to me was, "We have to stop fighting for our limits." And I thought to myself, I said, that is a big one.
Stop fighting for his limits?
Yeah. And I said, that is a huge one, because it's like the limits you put on yourself, you're actively putting them on yourself. Sometimes it's almost like I watched this movie the other day, and the main character said, I don't need to be better. I need bad things to stop happening. Right? And that's a certain perspective, of course, to look at things, which I think a lot of people take. But it's like, I'm fighting for my limits. It's like, I'm dying to prove to myself I'm not good enough. Like, I'm not going to let no one tell me I'm good enough. I'm not going to it's like, you don't got to fight for that, okay? It's like, fight for something else. So
right.
That's the thing about the last one is like letting something go is like, let that thing go. You don't have to fight to keep that thing that's holding you back.
You do not have to. And the thing is, the reason why I started out with saying put God first, because when you let go, you make room for other things to come in, right? But when you holding on to things, it's like, can you imagine if you were the creator and you like, listen, I got so much for you, Adrian. I got this for you. Like, I got this for you, but you gotta drop that because it's too heavy to hold this. This is serious. And you holding on to it, and God's just holding on to it. Like, man, if he just dropped that, okay, he's gonna let you get around to it. But then there's a certain point when he says, okay, I gotta force him to drop that. Drop it. You drop it. All of a sudden, the door opens and shit start falling on you. You go, what the fuck?
This was here the whole time?
I had this, I had that. And that's what needs to happen. That entire process of those 3 quotes all intertwined.
Yeah. I like that we ended on self-love. Chris, my producer, actually said this to me during a shoot, that he said, when I think of self-love, I think of you. But one of those best compliments I could have ever gotten.
That's beautiful,
I said because that's no, for sure, because I think self-love is almost the start of all of this.
It is.
It like, once you love yourself, there's certain things you just won't say, you just won't do.
Certain things you won't do.
Right. And I think that when you're in a certain space, you don't even notice it in yourself. No. And this is an example I always give. When I was a virgin, I was scared to talk about sex at all. Anyone that's mentioned sex, I'm finding a way. I gotta go to the washroom. I gotta go. Because I don't even want no one to even get to the point where they question me. And now I'm nervous.
And you're not there.
And no one's even thinking about me. No one's thinking that. But because I'm so anxious, I'm not even noticing that no one cares. Because no one cares.
Nobody cares, bro. Everybody's in their own world. And that's okay. We all got this thing going on in our lives that is so important to us, right? So none of it's going to matter. But That's the thing. You yourself is telling you that it's so important that it must be important to everybody else, but nobody give a
Nobody
fuck.
cares. And it's like, that's where I think people are at in their mind, and they convince themselves that they're right to be this way. They're like,
Facts.
I'm worried about, okay, it makes sense to be this worried. I'm right in being this worried.
Yeah.
And then once you kind of break away from that, you're like, why did I think everyone cared so much?
Why did I think people cared how I walked or how I was looking, how my head was? Yeah, you know, you want to presume confidence, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to understand, if you in a room exuding confidence and everybody's in their own world, nobody gives a shit how confident you are.
Exactly. That's the thing, is like, once you realize everyone else is thinking that, it's so much easier. Because that's what I think too. So much easier. Is I see it now and I'm like, oh, this person wishes they could do this, or or they're not confident in this.
Exactly.
So it's like,
that's where that saying comes from when they say when you doing public speaking, picture everybody naked.
Yeah.
And what that is deeper. It's like, if everyone was naked, they'd be worried about their bodies.
Exactly. And it's easier to talk to everyone while you're clothed and everybody
right? So you kind of realize, like, yo, if you just get up on there and say whatever you need to say and set yourself free, then everyone else can feel good being naked too.
That's where we wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thank you again for joining us. I love that you actually made a big dent in this ice cream.
I did.
Yeah.
It's soupy as fuck, though.
Listen,
y'all can see wonton soup.
Oh, it's cooking.
Still tastes good, though. Thank you.
I want to thank everyone for listening to the podcast. If you've made it this far, you know what to do. Leave us a rating and a review, 5 stars, not a single star less. Of course, find us on the interwebs, on Instagram at The Cool Table Live, on YouTube at The Cool Table Live. You can listen to the radio show every Wednesday live at 11 a.m. Eastern. That's metradio.ca, CJTM in Toronto. And of course, until next time, know yourself, know your worth.